YN POV, there are 3 undeniable truths in my life right now. Rent is too damn high, my iced coffee addiction is a financial liability, and my roommate, Jungkook, is an absolute manipulative menace to society, especially when his immune system drops below 90%. I balance the tray of steaming chicken noodle soup and violently orange-cold medicine on my hip as I kick his bedroom door open. The room is practically a sauna. He's got the heater cranked up to a temperature that could roast a turkey, and the curtains are drawn shut like he's a vampire hiding from the sun. And there he is, buried under a mountain of gray comforters, only a mop of messy dark hair and 2 big glassy doe eyes peeking out. He looks like a tragic Victorian prince who just discovered Twitch streaming. I brought drugs, I announce, setting the tray on his bedside table with a deliberate clatter. And soup. Sit up. A pathetic, muffled groan rumbles from beneath the duvet. Go away. Let me perish in peace. You have a 103-degree fever, Jungkook. You're not dying of the bubonic plague, I sigh, crossing my arms. Sit up and take the pill before I crush it up and blow it into your face like powdered sugar. Normally, this is the part where he'd throw a pillow at my head, call me annoying, and we'd bicker until one of us stormed out of the room holding back a smile. That's our dynamic. We flirt through warfare, but Sick Jungkook is an entirely different breed. Sick Jungkook has no filter, 0 boundaries, and an alarming amount of audacity. The blankets shift, and he slowly pushes himself up against the headboard. His hair is stuck to his forehead with sweat. His cheeks are flushed a deep, feverish pink, and he's only wearing a thin white t-shirt that does absolutely nothing to hide the heavy rise and fall of his chest. He looks terrible, and yet, entirely unfairly, he is still the most aggressively attractive person I've ever seen. My arms don't work, he rasps. His voice has dropped into this heavy, floor-rattling rumble that I can feel more in my own chest than in my ears. Your arms were working fine when you were violently raging at Elden Ring at 2 a.m, I point out, handing him the spoon. He doesn't take it. Instead, he looks up at me through his thick lashes, letting out a heavy, dramatic sigh. Love. Love. My stomach does an immediate violent flip. He only ever calls me by my name to annoy me, but whenever his temperature spikes, out comes the pet name. It's unfair warfare. Don't love me. Eat the soup. I can't, he whines, dropping his head back against the wall, exposing the strong line of his throat. I have no energy. I need an incentive. I blink at him, genuinely baffled. An incentive? To not die of starvation? Yeah. A lazy, half-lidded smirk tugs at the corner of his chapped lips. I propose a trade. Sickness is a currency, you know the old saying, and I'm planned to cash in. You are actually delusional, buddy. I'm serious, he murmurs, his dark eyes locking onto mine, entirely unblinking. The playful sarcasm is there, but underneath it, there is a heavy, burning intensity that makes the air in the room feel suddenly very thin. 1 spoonful of soup equals 1 minute of you playing with my hair. I freeze. Excuse me. You heard me. He leans forward slightly, the blanket falling off his broad shoulders. My scalp hurts. The fever is making my hair ache. That's a real medical symptom, love. Look it up. Hair does not ache, you absolute liar. Prove it, he challenges, his voice a low, raspy whisper. He nods toward the bowl. Deal or no deal, because otherwise I'm going on a hunger strike. I stare at him. I should say no. I should dump the soup on his lap and walk out. But he looks so miserably flushed, and the way he's staring at me, like I'm the only lifeline he has left in this room, makes my chest tight. Fine, I mutter, my voice betraying me by coming out a little breathless. But you chew quickly. I sit on the very edge of his mattress. The bed dips under my weight, and Jungkook immediately shifts closer, the heat radiating off his body bleeding through my jeans. I scoop up a small spoonful of broth and noodles and hold it up to his mouth. He takes it, swallowing slowly, never breaking eye contact. Well, he whispers, his lips practically brushing the spoon. Pay up. My heart is hammering a frantic rhythm against my ribs as I hesitantly reach out. My fingers brush against his forehead. God, he is burning up, before sliding into his dark, messy hair. It's incredibly thick and soft, and the second my nails lightly scrape against his scalp, a deep, rumbling sigh escapes his chest. He lets his eyes flutter shut, leaning his heavy head right into the palm of my hand. See? He murmurs, his hot breath fanning over my wrist. Was that so hard? I can't even speak. I just keep feeding him, spoonful by spoonful, while my other hand completely betrays me, massaging his scalp, carding through the heavy strands. Every time I try to pull my hand away, he lets out a pathetic little whine and leans closer, trapping me in his orbit. The proximity is dizzying. The smell of his cedarwood cologne mixed with the faint scent of Vicks Vapo Rub is doing terrifying things to my brain. After 10 agonizingly intimate minutes, the bowl is half empty, and I am fighting for my life to keep a straight face. Okay, soup time is over, I announce, forcefully pulling my hand back. The loss of his warmth leaves my fingers tingling. I pick up the giant orange cold and flu pill. Take this. Jungkook slowly opens his eyes. They are dark, heavy, and glinting with absolute mischief. He looks at the pill, then back at me. Soup was tier 1 bartering, he says, his raspy voice dropping so low it vibrates in my chest. Pills are tier 2. I narrow my eyes. Jungkook, take the damn pill. No. He smirks, entirely shameless. 1 pill equals you staying in this bed with me, under the covers, until I fall asleep. I'm not getting into your germ-infested bed. I gasp, my face instantly catching fire. It's just body heat, love. I'm freezing, he whispers. Suddenly, before I can even process the movement, his large burning hot hand shoots out and wraps securely around my wrist. His grip is surprisingly strong for a dying man. With one effortless tug, he pulls me forward. I gasp, losing my balance, my hands flying out to catch myself right on either side of his hips. I am hovering inches above him. His chest rises against mine. I can feel the frantic, heavy thud of his heartbeat, and I'm terrified he can feel mine matching it. Stay with me, Jungkook breathes, his dark eyes dropping to my lips for a fraction of a second before meeting my gaze again. Deal? Jungkook's POV. I am a fraud. A sick, pathetic, entirely whipped fraud. Don't get me wrong, the fever is real. My throat feels like I swallowed a handful of glass, and my joints are aching like I just got hit by a bus. But am I actually too weak to hold a plastic spoon? Absolutely not. But looking at YN right now, hovering inches above my chest, her eyes wide, her cheeks flushed a pretty, frantic shade of red, I realize I would fake a coma if it meant keeping her exactly right here. Usually, if I even try to stand too close to her in the kitchen, she threatens me with a spatula. Our entire roommate dynamic is built on fighting each other, stolen hoodies, and pretending we aren't hyper-aware of each other 24/7. It's exhausting. But right now, the game feels like over. Jungkook. She breathes, her voice a little shaky. Her hands are planted on the mattress on either side of my hips, keeping her weight off me. Let go of my wrist before I break yours. You wouldn't, I rasped, my thumb brushing lightly over her pulse point. It's hammering. Fast. You have a soft spot for dying animals. You're not an animal. You're just a menace, she stammers, refusing to look at my lips even though I can tell she's trying really, really hard not to. Take the pill. Deal first, I whisper, tugging her down just a fraction of an inch closer. Stay until I fall asleep. She glares at me, but the fight is melting out of her eyes. She sighs, a dramatic, long-suffering sound. Fine. You are literally the worst roommate in the history of renting. Open. She holds the giant orange pill near my mouth. Instead of taking it with my hand, I lean forward and take it directly from her fingers, making sure my lips brush deliberately against her skin. She violently flinches, her face catching on fire. Did you just... Water, I demand, completely ignoring the way her breath just hitched. She blindly grabs the glass from the nightstand, practically shoving it at my face. I swallow the pill, set the glass down, and before she can even think about retreating, I wrap both my arms around her waist and drag her down. Hey, she yelps, collapsing against my chest as I pull the heavy gray duvet entirely over both of us. Shh, I groan, burying my face straight into the crook of her neck. Patient is resting. No loud noises. You are a human furnace, she grumbles, but her body is rigid against mine. She doesn't pull away. Her hands slowly come to rest flat against my chest. I'm going to catch whatever mutant flu you have, and then who's going to make the soup? You can't even boil water without causing a fire hazard. I'll order you Uber Eats, I mumble into her collarbone, letting my eyes drift shut. Having her in my arms feels illegal. She's cool and soft, and the contrast against my burning skin is making my head spin in the best way possible. I'll be your nurse. I'll even wear the little hat. A tiny, reluctant laugh escapes her, vibrating against my ribs. It sends a wild jolt of electricity straight to my stomach. You're an idiot, she whispers. You're idiot, I fire back, the words slipping out of my mouth before my brain can filter them. The fever is definitely making me bold. Or maybe I'm just tired of pretending. The room goes dead silent. Under the heavy blanket, wrapped in the dark, I can feel the exact moment her breath catches. She tilts her head, looking down at me, and I crack one eye open to meet her gaze. The proximity is dangerous now. We are breathing the exact same air. I slowly slide one hand up her back, resting it at the nape of her neck, my fingers tangling in the hair at the base of her scalp. I apply just enough pressure to let her know she's trapped, but gentle enough that she knows she's safe. "Jungkook," she whispers, her voice barely a breath. Her gaze drops to my mouth, and this time, she doesn't look away. Are you really that sick? Or are you just playing with me?" I freeze. My heart kicks into overdrive. If I tell the truth, she runs. If I lie, I keep her here. But I hate lying to her. I smirk, deciding to double down on the devious route. "I don't know," I whisper, my thumb tracing the line of her jaw. "But I think Tier 3 bartering requires a kiss to cure a sore throat. Want to test the medical theory?" She inhales sharply, her eyes fluttering shut as my face leans in, closing the gap until our noses brush. But right as she leans down, her knee shifts on the mattress, hitting something hard and plastic hidden right under the edge of my pillow. She pauses. Her hand reaches under the pillow, her fingers wrapping around the object. "Jungkook?" she asks, the romantic haze instantly snapping as she pulls it out into the dim light. "Why is there a desk lamp bulb and the digital thermometer under your pillow?" Crap.